Shabby Gamer here, and welcome back to another episode here in our Universe Mode series. Now, we'll start this video, like the other ones, by saying this video contains no Universe Mode footage. This essentially is just going to be a 8 Women's Championship tournament to crown our first NXT Women's Champion moving forward into our Universe Mode, which should be uploaded within the next week. Let's have a quick look at the brackets we've got set for you this evening. We're going to start things off with Sasha Banks taking on Eva Marie. We've got Charlotte taking on Nia Jax. Bayley taking on Alexa Bliss. And then Asuka taking on Emma. So without further ado, let's get straight into our first match. And as I said, our first match will be Sasha Banks taking on Eva Marie. And here we go. Now we know that in my random match series, Sasha Banks has not done too well as yet. She's struggled to pick up victories. She has fought quite a few women that are going to be in this tournament here this evening. And again, just before we get into this one properly, take a second now just to nip down to the comment section and write down who you think is going to win. Just for a little bit of added fun, and at the end we'll see if anyone can, we'll see if anyone has got it correct. My guess, I'm going to go for Sasha Banks straight off the bat here. I think she's going to go the whole way and she's going to win this competition. So yeah, do that now if you've not already. We'll say that I think William, is William? Yeah, William, I think he's got the last two right. He's got the WWE Women's Championship and the WWE. No, he got the Tag Team Championship in WWE, and he got the Male NXT Championship correct as well. So well done to him. Let's see if you can make it 3 out of 3, William. Because I'm going to say Sasha Banks in this one. Remember, your choices are Sasha Banks, Eva Marie, Charlotte, Nia Jax, Bayley, Alexa Bliss, Asuka, and Emma. And remember on this one as well, damage retention is on, so big, impactful, painful moves there by Eva Marie on Sasha Banks. That could cost Sasha later on this evening if she makes it through. You want to try and get through this first round as quickly as you possibly can. It gives you a massive, massive advantage going further into this competition. We've seen that before in some of the other tournaments. If you can get through one round really quickly, then saying that we've seen a few times where it hasn't affected them too much. People have still managed to get through after very, very difficult matches, but to make it easy for yourself, as Eva Marie, I thought she might have been trying to win this one by count out, but she goes back to the outside to try and continue the assault on Sasha Banks, but Sasha just throwing Eva Marie into that ring post. And I'm really looking forward to finally getting our NXT Universe Mode up and running. Of course, this is a brand new brand for us this year. It's going to be replacing our Combat Zone Wrestling brand that we used last year. And I think just looking at the male tournament we've already had, and just the quality of the people in this female tournament as well, it's going to be an absolutely fantastic Universe Mode. You just wait until you see what our tag teams are going to be like as well. And of course, we're going to have the mid-card NXT Championship. We're going to have the television title. That will probably be the next of the tournaments that I upload, and that should be very, very close after this one. I'm going to try and get both these tournaments recorded one after the other on a Friday night, and hopefully get them edited and uploaded for you, on the Friday night as well. Of course, as I mentioned in a few of my videos before, the upload times have taken so much longer this game because of the length of the matches and the quality I'm recording as well. A lot of these files end up at about sort of 10 to 15 gigabytes once I've recorded them. By the time I've run that through the editing software and I've got it uploaded, you look at like an extra 10 hours on top of a video. So it does take it's taken a long time. So like I say, I'm trying to get all these championship tournaments uploaded for you as quickly as I can. As Sasha Banks hits that backstabber, and she could be walking straight through the second round here. No, Eva Marie is still in this one. Sasha thought she'd squeezed straight through to the second round very early on, and that would have been a massive advantage for her if she could have got through there. Now, like the male championship tournament that I did yesterday, I'm going to try and run most of this competition on fast momentum just to see what sort of effect it has. At the male competition, I didn't really notice a massive difference. The matches still lasted, they're a little bit shorter, only by about a minute or so, and I think it just made them, the whole tournament a bit more enjoyable because, yeah, I don't know, the matches are absolutely great, don't get me wrong, but the videos are getting very, very long, and I don't want it to start to drag for you guys and you get bored halfway through. So I'm going to put it on fast momentum for now. It's not as bad as it was on 2K16. If you used fast momentum, the matches would be finished in about 30 seconds to a minute. This still the matches are still lasting a considerable amount of time. It's just a little bit quicker than what it probably would be. I think our finals, of course, we'll be running our finals on normal momentum. But yeah, for these first few rounds, I think we'll go for fast. I think we'll probably do the same thing in the universe mode as well. Probably depending on the match, really. If I look at a match and I think to myself, this is not an incredibly interesting match. This is one that's not going to go very, very far. We'll just run it on fast momentum, that sort of thing. And then if we get to a championship match, of course, we'll run it on either medium or slow momentum, depending on what we're looking for. As Eva Marie going for a pin after that big DDT. And of course, Sasha Banks now has my curse. At the moment, I'm not doing very, very well against... I'm not doing very well with my predictions for these tournaments. I think I've got 1 correct so far out of 8. Yeah, I've got 1 correct prediction out of 8, so I'm not doing too well at all. Yeah, I've gone for Sasha in this one. I still think Sasha, for me, is by far the strongest woman in this competition. She's the best female wrestler in the WWE at the moment, and I've sort of put that into this game as much as I can. I have fiddled around with the stats a little bit, so Sasha is the strongest, but not by much at all. It's only ever so slightly, but it should hopefully be enough to make sure that she's always at the main end of that title picture in both NXT, and of course Sasha will be working the current day roster as well, alongside the likes of Charlotte and Becky Lynch will both be working both shows, as well as Emma, I think, as well, and Natalia and Summer Rae. All of those women will be working both NXT and the current day roster, so we're going to have a huge NXT women's division, which is absolutely great. As we see, great back elbow there by Sasha Banks on Eva Marie. And whereas I've upped everyone's stats slightly to make them a bit more competitive, Eva Marie I've dropped a bit because she was down at 77, which I think is quite a bit higher than what she probably should be. Sasha with the second backstabber, and there's the pin, and she goes through. Oh, what happened there? What happened there? She managed to have Eva Marie's hand super glued to the inside of her... Or she had Eva Marie's face super glued to the inside of her hand there for a second. There's been a few glitches in this game. I'm hoping... I know 2K are working on patches to get through some of these dodgy sort of glitches in the game. Hopefully they'll get that released very, very soon, because I've seen this quite a few times where they... I think you'll see it after the second... Well, there's the bank statement. You can't see a thing here because there's just signs everywhere. This is Eva hitting her DDT. She went for a pin after this and managed to get herself a 2 count. And that guy with a sign in the front row is doing my head in. I don't know if 2K really thought this through, because it's a really great camera angle, but with the signs in front of the screen you can't see a thing. And here you go. This is the second backstabber. There it is. And this is one of the glitches I'm on about. If you just watch the way that Sasha pins her, look, she goes on top, she spins round, her arms start to go a bit funny, she hops across the top, then as she stands up, I hope we're not going to see that, as she stands up, Eva Marie's face was super glued to the inside of Sasha's hand. So Sasha is going through to the second round. Eva Marie was not a massive obstacle for her. I'm sure her second round match will be. She's going to have the winner of our next match, Charlotte or Nia Jax. We've already seen Nia Jax defeat Sasha Banks in a random match, so it's an interesting one, this. But I think with the easy first round that Sasha has had here, I think she's going to do very, very well in this competition. And here is match number 2. It's going to be Charlotte taking on Nia Jax. And here we go. And for those of you who've watched my random matches, you will have noticed I have actually managed to get a much better looking Charlotte. We did have a good Charlotte to start with, but this one, I think the face on this one is just a lot more accurate. So it's great to see. I did manage to get a really good Becky Lynch the other day as well. So I am looking now every night. I've got my 100 calls already filled up. So I'm looking every night just to see if we can improve anyone. I'm struggling a little bit with Rey Mysterio, I'm not going to lie. I don't know what it is with Rey Mysterio, but for some reason the game is replacing all of his tattoos with random logos that are just saved on my computer. So I think I had it the other day where he made his entrance, but instead of his stomach tattoo that says Mexican, I think it said, it was replaced by James Storm's logo. So that was a bit of a strange one. I'm hoping to find a fix of that now, but apart from that, yeah, got the 100 cores downloaded, and now we're just going through every single day and just seeing if we can improve any of them, and if there's anyone else that's probably better off having. And it's going to be an interesting one because there's probably two of the stronger women in the NXT women's division. When I say stronger, I mean physically stronger. And both girls showing that here straight away. And we've seen Nia Jax do pretty well in the... Oh, great handstand into a leg drop there. We saw Nia Jax do pretty well in a couple of random matches so far. Of course, if you're not sure what I mean when I'm saying random matches, I've got an extra playlist on this channel where we've just been, since the release of 2K16, just releasing random matches every now and again. And the sort of things that you guys can get involved with, just drop a couple of suggestions in the comment section below, and I will get them recorded and give you a shout out in the process. And of course, it can be anybody, and if you've got a specific arena you'd rather see as well, then please let me know. I know I've had a couple from Rocket Andretti where he's actually suggested he wants the match to be in a certain arena, and of course I'll get them recorded and uploaded as soon as I can. I do have a massive list to get through at the moment, so I wouldn't expect them very quickly. Don't get me wrong, we'll be uploading quite a lot, but I wouldn't say that I'm definitely going to upload everyone's within a day or two, because I'm getting a hell of a lot of requests at the moment. But we'll get them all uploaded eventually, so make sure to subscribe to the channel and keep an eye out for one of your suggestions being uploaded. Of course, I will give you a shout out if I do use your suggestion as well. As Nia Jax starting to take control of this match now. And of course, remember the winner of this match will go on to face Sasha Banks later on this evening. And Sasha had a pretty easy first round match against Eva Marie, so both these girls will be hoping that they can conserve as much energy as possible to go on and face Sasha. Nia Jax there she hit the super kick. Can't believe she didn't get the pin there. Both girls back up to their feet, and Nia straight away catching Charlotte with that belly to belly suplex, and Nia Jax here is just dominating Charlotte, and as you see here, she's stalking her, takes her up, and there's that big front choke slam. There's the pin. 1, 2. It's only a 2 count. And Nia Jax is stunned, and I'm stunned. This would have been an incredibly quick win if she'd managed to pick it up there. Like I say, I put the momentum on fast for the men's tournament, and the matches were still lasting more or less the same amount of time. I would have been surprised if we'd seen another quick match. I will not too surprised about the first match being fast, because, like I say, I have slightly reduced. I think the phrase in gaming is nerfed. I nerfed Eva Marie slightly, dropped her stats, and made her a little bit weaker. But in this match, both these girls are very strong. They both have pretty good stats. They're both going to be involved in our NXT title pitch the whole way through the year. Of course, Charlotte on the main roster as well. So these are both probably two of the stronger women in the competition. I think Asuka is pretty strong as well. Emma is slightly lower than the rest. Alexa Bliss and Bayley, again, are probably slightly lower than the rest as well. So for my guess, I'm going to probably say the winner of this competition is probably going to come from the first bracket, the first top half. So we're going to have Sasha Banks and then the winner of this match as well. Of course, my money is already on Sasha. I'm going to assume, I'm not going to say this is definite, but I'm going to assume no one, or not very many people, would have guessed on Eva Marie to win this competition anyway. Both of these girls probably had a good chance to win this competition. Of course, it's going to be very, very difficult for one of these two, because not only do they have to beat their opponent, but again they're going to have to take Sasha Banks out in the semi-final as well. So it's going to be very, very difficult. But of course, that's the sort of way we are in this universe. Maybe we've got so many very, very strong rosters that it's going to take something special from anybody to win these championships. It really is. It's like the person that won the NXT male championship. I'm not going to give any names out just in case you haven't seen it yet and you do want to watch it. But of course, he would have had to gone through, well, just by judging the people that are on that competition. You had on that competition, I think it was Finn Balor, Tyler Breeze, Hideo Itami, Kevin Owens, Neville, Sami Zayn, Cesaro, and Apollo Crews as well. So, like I say, from them 8 people, one person took the championship. And, yeah, It's just the achievement of being able to get through 3 of those guys in one evening just shows just how much you deserve to take the championship. It's been the same way here for the women as well, as Nia Jax now looking to dominate Charlotte on the outside. Brings her up and just power bombs her onto the matting on the outside. Of course, that matting is very, very thin. Not much protection at all. As the referee's counting these 2 girls out still. They've still got a few seconds before. There we go. They both make it back into the ring now. But Nia was there waiting for Charlotte, throwing her straight into that corner. And can she capitalise on this? Takes Charlotte up and locks it into that tree of woe. Whoa. And now just assaulting Charlotte, that big boot across the face. Now Nia's really starting to slow the pace of this match down now. It's really the best thing for her, really. Trying to run the match at a much more of her own pace, to keep control, but evidently hasn't worked there as Charlotte manages to kick Nia away, now stalking her opponent. What has Charlotte got planned here? There's the natural selection. Good old 2K. They put all the finishes for the Divas on the game, but not the actual Divas themselves. Great, isn't it? Nia Jax managed to kick straight out. I think the referee might have actually given a rope break there. Charlotte again stalking Nia. Nia back up to her feet. And Charlotte looks like she's going to have to go for a second natural selection. There it is. And surely there's no way for Nia Jax to get back up from them. Charlotte taunting the crowd when she really should be going for the pin. No, she's bringing Nia Jax back up to her feet again. Charlotte just continuing the assault, but wow, she should have gone for the pin. She really should. She hit 2 natural selections on Nia Jax, and you see Nia now starting to fight her way back into this match. Charlotte may have missed a huge opportunity to win this one. Or has she? She looks to try and take control again. Taking Nia Jax up, and there's the electric chair drop. Charlotte dropping to a knee. A lot of energy to hit that electric chair. I thought she was going for a figure 4 leg lock then, but she dropped her entire body weight on the inside of the knee of Nia Jax. And now Charlotte again just taking a bit more time when she probably should be going for the pin. Now Charlotte again stalking the grounded Nia Jax. Boot to the stomach again. Are we going to see a 3rd natural selection? We do. There it is. And surely now Charlotte's got to pin her for the win. Surely. There she goes. 1, 2, and... Really? 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 That was only a 2. 3 natural selections, and that was only a 2 count by Charlotte on Nia Jax. And Charlotte looking... She looks stunned, just like I am, actually, now. I don't know how Nia is still in this one. I really don't. She's showing that she's going to be a force to reckon with in our NXT Women's Division. Charlotte looks to continue the assault, but she really needs to find a way to finish Nia Jax off, and that big suplex could have been it. Again, you see the energy it's taken out of Charlotte to hit these big, impactful moves now. And Sasha must be backstage rubbing her hands together, because she knows no matter who wins this match now, they've gone through a very long, arduous match, and they're probably going to be pretty easy to pick off for Sasha. I'm feeling very, very confident now about my pick to win this competition, Sasha. Nia Jax with a Saito suplex. See, if Nia was to get through this match into the next round, then Sasha knows she's going against somebody who's been hit with 3 natural selections already. But then again, Sasha would also be quite worried, because she knows that Nia Jax has kicked out 3 natural selections. Nia Jax with this incredible amount of elbows to Charlotte. How is Charlotte sustaining all of this damage? Back up to her feet. Now Nia Jax, that snapmare, and again, just slowing the match down to a pace which is more suited to her. so she can pick apart Charlotte. Oh, but Charlotte looks to be fighting back here. Gets back up to her feet. There's the elbow to the stomach of Nia Jax. Nia sending Charlotte over that top rope. Oh, Charlotte with that forearm. Makes her way back into the ring. And there's a neck breaker by Charlotte on Nia Jax. Is this going to be enough? She pulls her into the middle of the ring again. Oh, maybe not. Charlotte going for that knee drop. She's going to that place inside of herself where all of the memories of Ric Flair are held, and using his moveset. 1, 2, and that is it. Charlotte finally manages to put enough damage to Nia Jax to finish her off for the 3 count. It was that big Ric Flair style knee drop which finally finished Nia Jax off. And Charlotte, although she's victorious here, she's taken a lot of damage against Nia, and I'm sure Sasha Banks will be very, very confident that she can make her way easily through to the final. But as we've seen in some of her other tournaments so far, it is not as simple as that. And unfortunately for Nia, she's not going to be able to go any further here this evening, but I'm sure she's going to get a lot of opportunities at this NXT Women's Championship in our Universe mode. She's shown this evening that she has a great amount of resilience, kicking out of 3 natural selections. And here it is, the big Ric Flair style knee to the face. And that was enough to finish Nia Jax off. And as I said, Charlotte versus Sasha Banks is going to be our first semi-final. And what a fantastic match that is going to be. I'm looking forward to that one. But of course, we still have 2 more first round matches before we can even think about our semi-finals. We've got next Bayley versus Alexa Bliss. And then, of course, Asuka taking on Emma. As we see Sasha Banks, you see that match has really taken it out of her. She's really going to struggle later on this evening. Sasha Banks is a very good wrestler, and she'll know where the weaknesses in Charlotte's body is after that match, and she'll be able to capitalize on them. I can say my guess was Sasha Banks, and I'm feeling a lot more confident now after watching these first 2 matches. And here we go, the third of our first round matches. It's going to be Bayley taking on Alexa Bliss. And here we go. We've used both these women in some random matches over the past few weeks. And again, I just want to say, if anybody is watching that's created either of these 2 women, thank you very much, because you're absolutely fantastic at doing what you do. This Alexa Bliss is just stunningly good. It really is. And as is this Bayley's pretty good as well. Really too. I wasn't actually going to download Alexa Bliss. It wasn't someone that I had on my list to get. But after seeing how good she looked when I was scanning through the community creations, I just couldn't say no. I'm really starting to wish that 2K would allow us 200 cores, because I think I'd use every single one. The cores that some people manage to create are absolutely stunning. They really are. Don't get me wrong, there's a few dodgy ones on there, as there always is going to be, but the ones that I'm getting are really, really good. I think there's one that I'm struggling with, and that's Kazuchika Okada for our Global Force Wrestling roster. He looks very, very funny because he just seems to have a really pointy face. I don't know why, but he's got a really pointy face. And all someone's done is they've taken a picture of his face and just put it over his head as a logo. So it's exactly his face, it's just not the right shape or the right look, or the body doesn't match it or anything like that. So it's a little bit odd. I've not actually tried it to see what it looks like in the ring, but just from the picture looking at it, it looks a little bit dodgy. But like I say, I'm hopefully going to get a better one of them. That's why I'm trying to leave the likes of Ring of Honor and Global Force Wrestling to as late as possible. Those are probably going to be the last 2 companies I do the tournaments for, because I really want to make sure that I've got as much people and the best people I possibly can before I start uploading those ones. So that's basically why I've done the WWE roster first, because obviously they're on the game. I've gone straight to NXT again because most of them are on the game already. And then I'll probably go to Attitude after this one. and then finish off with... I've still got Retro as well. I've got Retro's not going to be too bad because Retro's only going to be 3 championships. We're just going to have the Intercontinental, the WWF, and the Tag Team Championship. Attitude Era is going to be a big one. We're going to have about 7 or 8 championships in the Attitude Era. We're not going to have a Women's Championship in the Attitude Era until we get the downloadable content. So we get the likes of Trish Stratus and Lita to start off with at least. We've already got Stephanie McMahon on there as well. We'll have to see if we can download some of the women. I did have a good call for Victoria the other day, but as soon as I downloaded it, I changed it for somebody else because I needed the space. It was a really good core as well, but I needed the space, and like I said, we've got no women's division in the Attitude Era as of yet until we get the likes of Lita and Trish, and then we will work one in. We're probably not going to have enough women on the roster to do a full tournament, but at least we might be able to do like a fatal 4-way match or something along those sort of lines. I'm essentially looking at a 12-month feud between Trish Stratus and Lita for the Women's Championship in our Attitude Era. But maybe once all these tournaments are done, we can start to make a few people not so much disappear, but we might have a couple of months where we won't see Alexa Bliss, and then we'll re-download her and take somebody else out for a couple of months and that sort of thing. The whole universe mode is going to be very dynamic. It's going to change as we go through. The rosters will change. We'll download extra people. We'll get rid of some people depending on the storylines and what's happening, and basically if we're using them or not. I don't want to sit there with somebody in our roster just because I really like them and then we don't use them. Seems pointless when we can delete them and use the space. Like I've downloaded somebody yesterday who I don't really like as a wrestler. It's not the sort of person that I like, but then again it just works really well with certain storylines and certain other people as well. So I've downloaded him anyway just to use in that situation. Oh, great move there. Alexa Bliss went for the dive, but Bayley caught her with that gut buster. Is that going to be enough to put Bayley through to the second round? It is. Great win there for Bayley. She caught Alexa Bliss when Alexa went for that dive. That was a great win there for Bayley, and again a nice easy match for Bayley. Well, I don't want to say easy. It's no disrespect to Alexa Bliss. I just mean that she managed to get through virtually unscathed with a lot of energy. Because of course she's got the big task of facing the winner of Asuka versus Emma later on in our second semi-final. The elbow across the face by Alexa Bliss, and here you see Alexa on her way up to the top rope. Bayley up really quickly and catches Alexa with that gut buster, and that was enough to finish Alexa off for the 3 count. Great win there for Bayley out of nowhere. And she is going on to be one of our final 4 ladies fighting it out for this Women's Championship here this evening in NXT. It's going to be very interesting. Of course, at the moment, both Sasha Banks and Charlotte are working for WWE as well, but obviously the WWE current day roster. Bayley's not. Bayley's going to be permanently situated down here in NXT. And of course, I'm sure she'll be hoping to make sure that she walks out here this evening with that Women's Championship. And here is the 4th of our first round matches, the last of our first round matches. It's going to be Asuka taking on Emma. And here we go. Now, I've been trying to do a bit of research in between recording some of these random matches and actually getting here. I asked you guys in the first random match I ever did just how to pronounce the name here, and I've been told it's Asuka. I think it's Asuka. So essentially, you're saying Asuka, which is how it's spelt, but you're just missing the U out really. So it's Asuka. You're just saying it really quickly. That's pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. If I'm getting that wrong again, please let me know in the comment section below. And of course, I think Asuka is probably one of the stronger women on the roster once again. Emma's down in the high 70s, but I think Asuka is in the low to mid 80s, so she's going to be pretty strong here again in NXT. And there might come a point, just because, like I've said, just because Bayley is going to be permanently on NXT for now does not mean that she will be for the entire length of the universe mode. There's no reason why she won't be up on that main roster at some point. And the same here with Asuka as well. There's no reason why we can't use her on the main roster at some point. Maybe we could have just a random 6 Diva Battle Royal to become the #1 contender. Just throw in a random NXT Diva. There's no reason why we couldn't do that. Big boot to the back there by Emma. And, of course, Emma, more experienced in the WWE than Asuka. I think Asuka's more experienced as a wrestler. But Emma more experienced in the WWE. She knows this environment probably a bit better. But will that be enough to earn her a championship here this evening? It's, to tell the truth, the 3 girls that have already gone through, and I've just realised the 3 girls that have gone through are 3 of the 4 horsewomen. Of course, the 4th one, Becky Lynch, is not in this competition. There is a reason for that. I'm not going to get into it because it might spoil other things, but there is a reason why Becky Lynch is not involved in this. And of course, Becky Lynch is one of my favourite female wrestlers anyway. I've said earlier, Sasha Banks for me is the best women's wrestler that WWE have, but I think for me, Becky Lynch is probably my favourite. I don't know what it is, but she's got an aspect of comedy about her as well, which I really like. And the matches that Sasha and Becky Lynch had on NXT before Bayley got involved in the title picture, when it was like I said, Sasha Banks versus Becky Lynch, they were absolutely incredible matches. I personally think the Becky Lynch versus Sasha Banks match was better than the Sasha Banks versus Bayley match, but I know everyone else is a big fan of the Bayley Sasha. But I was saying that every single women's match that have been put out in NXT has been incredible. I think it's gonna start to struggle a bit when they start to push the divas like you got your Eva Marie and your Dana Brooke and your Emma. When they start to put those into the main event title picture, I think we're going to start to struggle a little bit for quality. But hopefully with the introduction of some of the newer women, such as Asuka and Athena recently debuting as well, of course under a different name for NXT, she has been signed up as well as to join the women's division. So that's another interesting one that we could look at downloading at some point. I'm sure she is on there. I saw it on the community creations a couple of weeks ago. As Asuka taking Emma up, sit out powerbomb, middle of the ring. Bringing Emma again back up to her feet, and Asuka really should be going for a pin after that big powerbomb, but looking to continue the assault here on Emma. And will she come back to regret not going for the pin? Or maybe not, that big. I don't know what that's called. I'm not even going to try and guess what that's called. I know Asuka likes to use the rear view that Naomi uses as well. Probably not as effective for Asuka because she's a bit more petite than Naomi, should I say. Emma here, knee to the stomach, and now... Oh, Emma looking for that tarantula-style submission, using the ropes to her advantage. There's something about Emma that I don't know, she just looks very awkward in the ring. I like her. She's actually quite a good wrestler. She's not bad at all. She's not quite on par with some of the top ones, such as Sasha Banks, but she is pretty good in the ring. But there's just something about her that just doesn't look natural, if that makes sense. She just looks a bit strange. She looks a little bit out of place every now and again. As she's seated there on the outside, she took a big crash to the ground there. Asuka just stood above her, waiting for her to get back to her feet, and it probably wasn't a wise thing to do. Emma catches her, and there's the elbow to the face. Emma slides back into the ring to avoid being counted out here. Oh, but Asuka was playing possum and catches Emma straight away. And of course, the winner of this match will go on to face Bayley later on in the second of our semi-finals. And of course, that first semi-final is going to be Sasha Banks versus Charlotte. That's going to be an incredible match as it is. So my money on this competition before it started was Sasha Banks, and I'm feeling even more confident now as these matches go on, because Sasha had a nice quick and easy first match, and like I said, with damage retention on, that does make a huge amount of difference going forward in these competitions. As Emma looking to lock in the Emma lock. There she goes, showing her core strength there by crabbing back and catching the head of Asuka. This game is not very good for submissions though. If there's AI versus AI, submissions tend to struggle. Emma rolling Asuka over. She could have it. Asuka's a dead weight, but now Asuka fights out. Not with a lot of venom though. She manages to kick out, and now Slowly clawing her way back up to her feet, but Emma straight away there with a big clubbing blow across the back. Spinning Asuka around into that corner. Asuka with a big boot to the face though. Now there's the arm breaker. Of course, Asuka likes to lock in a couple of submission holds. One being a variation of the crossface chicken wing, I believe. I might have that wrong. Big boot to the back there by Asuka as well. Now just pulling Emma into the middle of the ring. And just stomping the knee of Emma into the mat. Very, very painful move. And here we see the big striking combination. The end could be near here for Emma. There's that big blow to the gut to finish things off. Is that going to be enough to pick up the victory here for Asuka? Again, she probably should go for the pin, but she probably leaves it a few seconds longer than she should do. This could affect her chances here. 1, 2. There you go. She just took a little bit too long. If she'd gone for the pin straight away, she might have picked up the victory and be through to the semi-finals already, but Emma's still in this one. And there you go, Asuka locking in that submission hold, like I said. Grapevine in the legs. It's going to be enough to finish Emma off. It's not. Asuka releasing the hold now, rolling Emma over into the pin. Is this going to be enough? 1, 2. Again, Emma kicks out on the 2. Both girls struggle back up to their feet. Just showing you how much the NXT Women's Championship means to both of these women. Asuka again just locking in the same submission hold. It's going to be enough this time. Not, she releases it once again. Is she going to go for a pin once again? As Emma trying to crawl her way to the ropes. Use them for leverage. As Asuka looking to build up a head of steam. There's a couple of clotheslines. Catches the boot and there's the trip. Brings Emma back up to her feet. Oh, and I think the end could be very, very close here for Emma now. Asuka again with this striking combination. There's a couple of big kicks to the chest. And there's the reverse heel kick to the gut. Pulling Emma away from the ropes, and surely this is going to be enough for a freak out now. 1, 2, and 3 it is. Asuka's going on to face Bayley later on this evening in the second of our semi-finals. And we now know that the very first NXT Women's Champion in our Universe mode is either going to be Sasha Banks, Charlotte, Bayley, or Asuka. That's going to be whoever wins this competition. It's going to be absolutely amazing as our first champion. We know that for sure. As we see some of the highlights from this match. See Emma there, just locked in the Emma lock. Showing her core strength to be able to arc back into that move. It's a very impressive move. That was the reverse spinning heel kick, the very last move of the of that striking combination. I think that might be the first time she hit it, because she just took a few extra seconds to pull Emma back into the middle of the ring. And there you see that few extra seconds was just enough to allow Emma the breathing space she needed to regain enough energy to kick out. And there's the second of the striking combinations. You see straight away pulling Emma away from the ropes, in for the pin, and this time it was enough to finish her off for the 3 counts. So that match again took a lot out of Asuka. I still, with the matches we've seen so far, Sasha Banks had quite an easy first round. She really got through Eva Marie pretty quickly. I think the other 3 girls have had a much more difficult time to get to the semi-finals. And is that going to cause any issues later on this evening? For me, I'm just feeling so confident that Sasha Banks is going to walk out of this with the championship. And for you guys that guess Sasha Banks again in the description below, I'm sure you'll be feeling exactly the same way that I am right now. And let's just have a quick look at the brackets before we move on to our semi-final matches. As you can see, there's going to be Sasha Banks taking on Charlotte and Bayley taking on Asuka for a place in the final in the Women's Championship tournament here for the NXT roster in our Universe mode. And like I just said, our first of the two semi-finals is going to be Sasha Banks versus Charlotte for a place in that final. And here we go in a match that I'm sure a lot of us were hoping for. This is going to be an amazing match between these two very, very talented women here in our NXT women's division. Of course, I put down Sasha Banks as my favourite for this tournament, and I'm sure a lot of you would have probably done the same thing. Charlotte had a much more difficult first round. She went through a lot against Nia Jax, and I'm thinking that Sasha Banks will be able to pick Charlotte off pretty quickly, but Charlotte has started this match very, very, very strongly. But now Sasha's starting to turn the screw and taking control, slowing the pace down, not allowing Charlotte to build up momentum, but Charlotte fighting back. There's the elbow to the stomach on Sasha Banks. Now sending Sasha into that corner. Big boot to the back and then just bringing her down the hard way with that clothesline. Now just bad talking Charlotte there. Charlotte there just bad talking Sasha Banks, who was grounded. Maybe not the best idea, as Sasha looks to be more motivated from that. Charlotte stalked there by Sasha, and the Sasha with a Hurricanrana as well. And now Sasha's starting to take control of this match. Like I said, she had the easier first round match, and I think energy wise, the longer this match goes, the more it's going to come into the hands of Sasha Banks over Charlotte. There she is with that, almost like a variation of the natural selection. Bringing Charlotte back up to her feet, and there's a very early backstabber. She hits it, and is that going to be enough to put Sasha Banks through to the final? 1, 2. No, it's only a 2 count. Charlotte manages to kick out, and that was nearly another very, very dominating performance here from Sasha Banks. If she could have beaten Charlotte in that situation that quickly, I would have put my mortgage on her winning this NXT Women's Championship. With the amount of energy she would have conserved getting through, she's basically going to be so much more fresher than anybody else in the final, because both Bayley and Asuka's already had a much more difficult match than what it would have been at that point in time for Sasha to have wrestled both Eva Marie and Charlotte. So of course Sasha was very lucky to get Eva Marie in the first round. Eva Marie is somebody who's not as strong as the other women. Like I say, I have reduced her stats slightly. No, it's not major. It's not going to make it a massive difference, but it's probably not going to be enough for her to be really involved in the women's picture enough. Yeah. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Do you think that's the right thing for me to do? I've made it. She's going to be a part of the roster, an active part of the roster. Don't get me wrong, but she's not going to be somebody who's going to be strong enough to ever fight for the women's championship. Don't get me wrong. If she can build momentum, there's no reason why she couldn't. As there you see Charlotte with the figure 8 leg lock locked in, but it's not enough. And she's taken a bit of a long time before going for the pin. And it is, like I said, it's a bit of a troll by 2K to put all of the Divas moves into the game, but not actually give us the 4 horsewomen. Like I've said in a few of my videos before, I've expressed my despair at 2K. They've had some terrible issues with this game. There is that's an obvious group of people to be missing from the roster. I know they've come up with all these different excuses, but you can easily counter all of those excuses. They're not very good excuses at all. With quite a lot of the bugs, there's a lot of bugs, and a lot of people have said there was a lot of bugs in 2K15, but I don't remember it being as buggy as this game was. One of the main problems, of course, for me is the lack of championship matches in the universe mode. I know this is something that they're looking to fix. Another backstabber there by Sasha Banks. Yeah, essentially what I mean is that you cannot make your own championship matches in the universe mode as of yet. There you go, Sasha through to the final. Very, very easy win for Sasha once again, and I'm even more confident now that Sasha's going to walk out of here this evening with that NXT Women's Championship. She is going to be the one to make this 2 wins out of 8 for me so far. That's my record with guessing these competition winners. She still has to defeat the winner of Bayley versus Asuka, but based on the damage retention rule, energy-wise and damage-wise, I think she's going to just have such a massive advantage going into that final. And there's the second of the backstabbers that finish Charlotte off eventually. Charlotte, very, very valiant fight. Like I said, she really struggled to get through the first round alone. Nia Jax was an incredible opponent for her to face off against in the first round. She did very well to get through that as well. It took 3 natural selections and harnessing some of her father's moveset to do so. But of course, by expending all that energy to take out Nia Jax, she had nothing to bring into the second match against Sasha Banks, and Sasha just manages to pick her off with ease, really. And like I say, my money is on we're going to see this later on this evening with Sasha holding up the gold. And here we go, the second of our 2 semi-finals. It's going to be Bayley taking on Asuka. And here we go. Who is it going to be going on to face Sasha Banks in our final here this evening for the NXT Women's Championship? Of course, it's a big honour to be our first NXT Women's Champion. I've mentioned before the way the pay-per-views are going to work in NXT. We're going to have one every other month, and of course that's going to be our NXT TakeOver events. You'll have Arrival and all these different ones. Of course, people have done some fantastic jobs with creating the shows on the creation, so we'll be using all those. There's TakeOver London, someone's created as well. There's TakeOver Brooklyn, so we'll be using all of those. But what I'm going to do is, of course, our NXT events are going to coincide with probably the weaker of the WWE main pay-per-views. So basically, the months where NXT is not having a pay-per-view, we're normally going to have a big one for WWE. So the likes of SummerSlam, Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, all that sort of stuff. So basically, at those bigger weekends, I think what we might do is have 1 or 2 NXT matches on the WWE pay-per-view. Of course, we are going to have pre-shows as well this year, like I started to do towards the end of last year as well. So basically, yeah, we'll have maybe an NXT Championship match, or we'll have an NXT Rivalry match, or even an NXT Women's Championship or Tag Team Championship match. So definitely something to keep an eye out for this year. I know I've had some great suggestions by Jay as well over the last couple of days about maybe having our own version of the Dusty Rhodes Classic Tag Team Tournament, with the winners of the tournament going on to face off against the NXT Tag Team Championships at a major pay-per-view. So that's a really good idea, something I'd like to use. Bayley pulling Asuka into the middle of the ring after that big suplex. 1, 2. She's got it. Oh, now this is making things very interesting now. Bayley manages to pick up a very quick victory over Asuka. And is that going to mean that she's going to have more energy going into that final against Sasha Banks than I was giving her credit for a few minutes ago? Maybe this final match is going to be a lot more even than what I was giving it credit for. I'm surprised that Asuka was defeated so quickly here by Bayley, to tell the honest truth. I know she used that big suplex, one of her signature moves. Yeah, that is interesting, that is. And we're going to have a Sasha Banks versus Bayley final. What a great final, considering the way the NXT women's division has been going in real life over the last few months. It's the perfect final we could have asked for. One of these two women, either Bayley or Sasha Banks, is going to walk out of here this evening with that NXT Women's Championship. Who will it be? We're going to find out next. And here we go with our final. As I just mentioned, it's going to be Sasha Banks taking on Bayley, and the NXT Women's Championship will be on the line. Now that was a very, very long loading screen. It won't be for you, of course, because I will cut all that bit out, but I must have been sat for about a minute in silence here. At 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm sat on my own in silence in the dark, waiting for that loading screen to finish. Now, as I've said before, in my Universe mode, I'm not going to be running the entrances unless it's a pay-per-view or a championship match. And of course, This is a championship match. This is a special match. Therefore, we do have some entrances. It's just my way of trying to shorten the videos a little bit because, for example, like Finn Balor's entrance is nearly sort of 2 or 3 minutes long. So if I was to have the entrances for every single match, considering that some of our cards this year are going to be 7 matches long on our weekly episodes, just by skipping them entrances, we're going to save about sort of 15-20 minutes off the video, which is obviously going to make it a lot easier for me to record and edit and upload, and obviously a lot less for you guys to watch as well. I think by having the entrances on just championship matches and pay-per-view matches, it's going to make the pay-per-views and that feel a bit more special. As here comes Bayley. She feels the crowd are behind her. This has worked out quite well as well. We're going to have a face in Bayley and the heel in Sasha Banks going for this NXT Women's Championship. Will we coincide with current day real NXT? And will Bayley walk out here the NXT Women's Champion? Or will my pick, Sasha Banks, from the very beginning manage to take care of Bayley just as she already has with Eva Marie and Charlotte this evening? I still think Sasha Banks probably has a slight advantage in energy. I think she's taken less damage in this match as well. So, yeah, my money's still on Sasha Banks, but I think Bayley has got a much better chance than what I thought she would, because she managed to take care of Asuka pretty quickly in the second of our 2 semi-finals, which we've just seen. And this is what it's all for here this evening. The NXT Women's Championship. The referee holds the belt up high. They know what they're fighting for now. And you see what I mean? Just because it's a championship match, it feels a lot more special now. Just seeing those little cinematics in between, and obviously seeing the entrances as well. It just makes the whole thing feel a lot more impressive. As Sasha Banks taking an early advantage here, just slowing the pace of the match down, trying to stop some of Bayley's momentum. Obviously, Bayley gets the crowd behind her, and she can really feed off that. Sasha in control. There's the elbow to the stomach by Bayley on Sasha Banks. And of course, my next tournament that we'll upload after this one will be the NXT Television Championship. That's going to be our new belt. It's going to be an upper mid-card championship, essentially the same sort of level as what the Intercontinental Championship is on the current day roster. That's what we're sort of looking at the moment. And then straight after that, of course, the NXT Tag Team Championships. That's going to be an interesting one. We've got a few extra tag teams downloaded, some that I've not told you guys about as well. I've not used Enzo and Cass or the Vaudevillains yet. I was going to do them in a random match, but I've not managed to get round to it yet. And Sasha thought she'd won the match there and the championship straight away. But Bayley's shown her resilience. So yeah, the NXT Tag Team Championship tournament's going to be great as well. And then as soon as I've done that, I think I'm going to skip straight over onto the Attitude Era, I think. The Attitude Era, then Retro Roster, then onto Ring of Honor and Global Force. As I say, I'm going to leave Ring of Honor and Global Force to last because I want to make sure that I get the correct cause and everything ready before we go for it. We've got the arenas already. They're looking fantastic. Got the championship belts again. They're looking fantastic. I just want to make sure I've got the best people on the rosters as possible to fight out for those championships straight out. As Bayley now taking some control in this match. Just launching Sasha hair first across the ring. Bayley making her way up to the top rope. What has she got planned here? Frog splash, a big frog splash on Sasha Banks. 1, 2. Oh, very nearly a 3. Bayley there showing some a great piece of respect there for the late great Eddie Guerrero. There's a great frog splash as well. A very Art Bar-esque frog splash. Sasha now bringing Bayley out the corner in that sit-out powerbomb. Looking for a pin. 1, 2. And Bayley just kicks out. You see the crowd really happy with that one. I don't think Bayley has a hell of a lot more left in the locker. But if she can just hold on and hit that one big impactful move on Sasha, she might be able to steal the championship here. But for me, my money is still on Sasha Banks. And that's the reason why. There's the big backstabber. And surely we've just crowned our first NXT Women's Champion. 1, 2, and no. Bayley again manages to kick out of this one. How is she still holding on? Sasha spinning Bayley round into that corner. You see Sasha starting to struggle as well now. Of course she would do. She's gone for 3 matches already this evening. Oh, I'm lining her up. We saw this in one of our random matches. There she goes through the corner. And there's the Tornado DDT. Oh, what a fantastic move. And I have asked in one of my videos before if you think I should leave that on Sasha Banks or take it off of her. It's not something she's done in real life. I think, obviously, that should be on Bayley because Bayley has done that in one of the most recent NXT events. So I think we'll keep it on Bayley, but I think probably having it on Sasha is probably not the best idea. Bayley slides back into the ring to break the referee's count. And this match continues. How much damage was done to Bayley on the outside there? Evidently not enough as she's twisting the arm of Sasha, now dropping her body weight across that arm. Bayley bringing Sasha back up to her feet once again. And now there's that suplex. This is what she beat Asuka with earlier on. Is that going to be enough for Bayley to pick up the Women's Championship? 1, 2. It is. It is enough. And yeah. How great is that? Bayley's going to be our first NXT Women's Champion. And as I said at the beginning of the video, stats don't mean anything in this game. I think Bayley was probably about... pretty sure probably about the 4th or 5th highest rated in this competition. But showing her resilience to get through the whole way. I'm amazed she's managed to take out Sasha in this big final match. I really am. Sasha had a much easier time through the first 2 rounds. I just expected her to pick up the victory here quite easily as well. Bayley, of course, had a very difficult first round match against Alexa Bliss. And then she had a very quick match against Asuka in the second round. That's probably what helped her out. And Bayley is going to be our first NXT Women's Champion. Just to coincide with current day WWE. There was that backstab. That's when I thought Sasha Banks had the championship in the bag. But Bayley kicking out just on the brink of the freak out. And here you see her bringing Sasha back up to her feet and using the same suplex move she used to defeat Asuka earlier on in the evening. There it is. And straight down into the free count. 1, 2, and you see the crowd really getting behind her. There she is, holding the gold up high. And she really does deserve this. She's gone through a hell of a lot this evening. And she really deserves to be holding that belt high. She's going to go into our universe mode as the NXT Women's Champion. And like I said, I'm very happy about that. It's going to be great for our first NXT Women's Championship feud as well. We'll have to look at who we think is going to be going for that very first. Well, we'll do some sort of number 1 contendership, either a tournament or maybe just one big sort of match. And there is the confirmation of the brackets. Bayley defeating Alexa Bliss and Asuka, and Sasha Banks to walk out of this championship tournament, the new NXT Women's Champion. Well, everyone, thank you very much for watching this video. If you have got this far, of course, hit that like button, not just for the video, but for all the cores in this competition as well. They're all fantastic. Sasha Banks, Charlotte, Nia Jax, Bayley, Alexa Bliss, and Asuka. They're all absolutely fantastic cores. And of course, also hit that like button if you're happy to see Bayley as the NXT Women's Champion. If you're not already, then be sure to subscribe, because once we've done all these championship tournaments, we will start uploading the normal weekly episodes of our NXT. I say weekly, it's going to be daily essentially, but we're going to have 1 episode per brand per week, unless it's your pay-per-view that week, of course. Yeah, I've been Shabby Gamer. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll speak to you soon.